Welcome to the back nine. We are at Grafarholt in Iceland. We're playing with the 2023 DGA Tour Series, only 6 discs plus a putter. We already played the front nine, shot pretty good. We shot 4 birdies, 1 bogey, and we're looking to get at the back nine. It's getting a little rainy, not too bad. We're gonna attack this course. Thanks for joining. Let's go get hole 10. Hole 10 looks to be about 100 meters. We're gonna throw the Hannum Hypercane, which is actually pretty flippy, like a neg 2-2, which is an awesome slot to have in the back. So we're gonna put a little bit of hyzer on it, and we're just gonna try and get as close as we can through this gap. Wow, low, but just inched over the rock. We should be pretty close, probably not putting though. Short little approach here. Oh, okay, not too bad. About 25 feet, awkward straddle, little uphill. Let's try and save this par here. Bad upshot. Yep, no problem. Hole 11 looks like 150 meters downhill. We're in a ripping tailwind. We're gonna throw the sail because I'm pretty sure this tailwind is just gonna carry this left. We're gonna really put it out far right. Wow, I parked that. So I might have thrown from the wrong tee box, but I have no regrets. You gotta throw from the top of the hill, right? Easiest birdie of the day. Hole 12 looks to be right around that 65 meter area, a little bit downhill. We're gonna throw a hyzer with the bonsai over the tree line, get it to drop in. Probably a little short. Yeah, a little short, about 5 feet short. Hole 13 looks to be about 95 meters out through the gap and then pushing right downhill. We're gonna throw the Austin Hannum Hurricane on a forehand. This disc looks like it flips up a little bit, maybe like a neg 2-2. And we're gonna just try and get it to flip up and then ride right for the rest of its flight. I have no idea where that went. Apparently it went right next to the basket. And that's 3 in a row. Hole 14 looks to be about 65 meters uphill. I'm gonna be throwing the bonsai forehand. There's a little, maybe 6-foot gap that I gotta hit about halfway up the fairway. If I do that, I think I'm looking good. It's gotta fade. Yeah. Okay, about 18 feet from the basket. Four in a row. Hole 15 looks like it's about 75 meters uphill, 80 meters uphill. I'm gonna be throwing a pipeline hyzer, try to get it to flip up and then just finish left a little bit. Don't think I can get there though. Not a bad kick. We did our job. Looks like we're at about the edge of circle 2. Give this a run here. Safe uphill. All right, birdie streak dies at 4. Not bad, that's a fun hole. Little tap in just so you can see that fairway. Hole 16, maybe about 55 meters downhill. We're gonna throw the quake. Trying to throw it decently hard, but nose up. Ooh, clipped a tree there. This one feels like a bad one to miss, but hey, we rattled off 4 in a row, so little tricky forehand here. And that'll do. Like, look at this. It's just straight up a piece of lava right here. I mean, I guess could be poop. I don't know, I'm gonna go with lava. Hole 17, 98 meters. We're gonna be throwing the Hurricane here. This is the most overstable of the Tour Series discs, apart from maybe the Quake. We're in a pretty good headwind here, so that's why I'm throwing this, disking up a little bit. Looks like it's kind of playing like an island, but it shouldn't be anything to worry about from here. Oh, that's long. So I was wrong. It's not a island green. What it is it's a lava OB pit. So we went a little long. We're about circle. Into the headwind. Little comeback right here. Hole 18, last hole of the day, par 3, 99 meters. We're gonna be throwing the Hypercane. Again, it's a little bit flippier, so I'm gonna put it up over the fairway. This whole walking path to the right is OB. So I gotta trust that it's gonna come back. We have a tailwind, which is why I'm picking this disc. Just get it up. That looks money. Get down, get down, get down. Yeah, good shot. Last putt of the day, hopefully elevated about 20 feet. This is to go -8. Okay, we've been back in the States for about a month now. Unfortunately, at the end of the round, it got a little bit too rainy and I was freezing cold if you couldn't tell. So I cut it short and I just wanted to do a quick wrap on that video and share my thoughts on the 2023 DGA Tour Series discs, and as well as give the C3 rating for the course. So for the Tour Series discs, let's start with the plastic. You have a new plastic that is called the Tour Series Swirl, and this plastic feels actually pretty stiff and pretty hard until you get it into the sun like this, and it's really gummy. So it's got the perfect combination of flexibility but also stiffness for when you want to grip it. I love that combo a lot. Let's talk about the appearance. If you can't tell from the side profile, these discs have some beautiful swirls to them. A lot of unique color combinations if you like your disc to look good like I do. Individually, we have the Tour Series Quake. This Quake, as I said in the intro, is an overstable run, which I think people have been waiting for a long time. Bagged this one and the normal Quake. For the straight shot for the normal Quake, both SP and PL seem to have a pretty straight flight with a reliable finish, whereas this is overstable through the whole flight. I think the only disc that I don't bag, and that's only because I have the bonsai in my bag perfectly worked out, is the Austin Turner bonsai. Compared to the other bonsais, I would say this is right in the middle of the recent runs of PL and SP, where this one doesn't have as much turn, but the finish quite isn't as much as the PL run, which I think are pretty overstable for bonsai, but a really good neutral to overstable fairway driver that you can rely on. The Cole Redolin pipeline, this one is insanely beautiful. Just look at those swirls. This is a domier run of the pipeline. It does have a more neutral flight in the mid-flight, meaning that it'll carry straight without turning too much. Obviously, if you throw it really flat and hard, it will turn. For that mid-flight, it's not rolling over like a pipeline might normally, and it does have a good, reliable. I kind of think that the pipeline is a neg 1-1, whereas this one I might call like neg 1 1.5, so just a little bit more finish at the end and neutral in the mid-flight. All these discs are beautiful. We have the Katrina Allen sail. I haven't bagged this only because I really don't bag too much understable discs in my bag. I bagged the sail for roller, and that's about it. But in my experience throwing this during the round in Iceland, this was a perfect hyzer flip distance driver. You can get a lot of distance because it's not crashing over so fast. You're getting a really nice flip up. It'll ride gently to the right and then finish. And in the tailwind on hole 11, that was one of my favorite throws of all time. To get that right off the bat on a disc that I maybe only threw 2 or 3 times before, if that. I don't even remember if I threw it before the round at all. But to get that right away, I will always remember that shot. So Katrina Allen sail. The Andrew Marweed Hurricane. This is definitely a more overstable run of the Hurricane if you're looking for a little bit more bite at the end. Surprisingly, this is the most overstable of the drivers in the Tour Series, mostly comparing it to the Hypercane, which I'll get to. The Quake, obviously, very overstable as well. But again, beautiful swirls on this. But if you're looking for a touch more overstability from your 12 speeds, this would be a great disc to pick up. And finally, the biggest surprise of the bunch, we have the Austin Hannum Hypercane. This hypercane surprised me because on the first throw I threw it in a headwind and it was like a neg 4, which at first I was like, oh, that's not good at all. What I realized is, once I was out of the direct raging headwind, was that this disc is absolutely awesome. It is like a neg 2-2. I can't say you won't trust it in headwinds because I'm only comparing it to the, I don't know, 40-mile headwind that I threw it in. Really, since that moment, I've never had an uncontrollable flight. It is an absolutely awesome distance driver, especially for amateurs. You'll get a little bit of turn out of it. You will have a reliable fade. So this is probably one of my farthest throwing discs ever that hasn't been a big sort of Anheuser understable disc. Can definitely get it to the 390 mark, which is kind of where I've been sitting pretty easily and very consistently. I think a neg 2-2 distance driver for an amateur is just a great addition to the bag. So big surprise from the Austin Hannum Hypercane, and again, looking very sharp. So that's my thoughts on the 2023 DGA Tour Series discs. Hope you like this video that I tried to highlight each disc, and go out and buy some yourself. So last but not least, as always, any course that I film, I give the C3 course rating, which is an objective course rating system that tries to use the full width. I think most course ratings only look at 4 and 5 is good and everything else is horrible. In my rating system, a 3 is average. So those 3 rating categories are challenge, design, and the X factor, or the experience, sort of the things that you can't quite quantify but make a course special. So for the challenge of the course, it's a little skewed because when we looked at the Reykjavik Open for the layout that we played, it had it as a par of 61. I think that was way too generous. I think the course par that I would give it was probably a 56. There's a little bit of confusion there because on the first tee I played from a long tee that apparently no one played. I was probably throwing from about 160 meters where everyone else was throwing from the tee in front of me at 135. So I think it's fair to call that a par 4. Plus I did play the long tee from the top of the hill on hole 11. So when I'm trying to give it a challenge rating, the really tough part about this course was that you had these super narrow fairways. Normally when you think narrow fairways, you're thinking maybe 8 to 10 feet. These were literally less than arm width, so anywhere from 5, 6 feet maybe, something like that. So very challenging lines. But playing from the white tees, I have to be honest, they were short and a lot of them were very gettable. So I'm going to give the challenge a 3 out of 5. As far as the design being how unique are the holes, are the shot shapes, good disc golf holes, and I have to give that a 4 out of 5. These holes were super fun to play because they required backhand, forehand, and a lot of gap hitting. I love the use of elevation change, and I think that they really brought the property to the course and made a beautiful design around it. So I'm giving that a 4 out of 5. Finally, for X Factor, I was absolutely in love with that course. I'm giving that a 4.5, which there's only one course right now that I think would top that. Maybe I'll do a video on that in the future. This place had such amazing views. The mountains slash glacier was in the background pretty much the whole time. The fairways were absolutely beautiful, clean, just lined by the pine trees. For some reason, I just love playing in pine trees. I wish I could play it every day that I was in Iceland. Wish I could have played the gold tees, but I'm giving that a 4.5 out of 5. Thanks for watching. It was really fun to film a quick video while I was on vacation. We had a great time, and we'll catch you on the next video. Icelandic glacial.